Hey guys, Thomas Cecilia Jr. here, aka Mustached, and welcome back to the month of horror movie reviews. This time I'm checking out Archaon, the Halloween Summoning. If you end up enjoying this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. The second one will send you over to my Patreon page. Any donations are desperately needed. My channel is probably going to die eventually and real soon due to the worst circumstances I've been in. So please, I beg of thee, if you enjoy again, please check out that second link and give a little support if you can. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's check out Archaon, the Halloween Summoning. So this movie starts out with quite a bit of text explaining this summoning ritual that involves Halloween, naturally, and this character who receives this mask named Jackson, I believe his name is. And it starts with him almost putting on this poorly made mask, and it came with a warning that told of this how to get rid of the thing, but they discarded it. Not like they could have read it earlier, but whatever. Meanwhile, his older brother, I believe, is Nolan, and he's trying to ask this Sarah character out on a date, and very successful, while Jackson is also getting lucky with a woman named Kate. So, they're heading up for their little date location, Nolan and Sarah. They're talking about her and what she's planning to do. Meanwhile, Jackson is at the house and hears some voices, and the mask drops when they are at the house. So heads up and almost puts it on. Oh, he puts it on this time, and he's teleported to another dimension area that's just the house reoriented with some leaves. And he's freaking out, and for whatever reason, he doesn't proceed to immediately take off the mask. So he checks the door after freaking out. Jason freaks out, and then Nolan checks the door. Thus, Jackson's friend Pete arrives on the scene. So Jackson tells his older brother what happened, and he proceeds to grab the mask and put it on in front of the three people there. Jackson himself, Pete, and Sarah being the three others. He is teleported away. The older brother is. So after that incident, they decide to search up what they can via typical cliched searching for horror thing. And they try to find the two ways they could possibly get rid of it by either putting it on fire or, which doesn't work by the way, and then after the fact trying to bury it, and also that does not work. Anyways, Jackson hears his name after being called out and wakes up. So, this box has a thing about coming back, and the Reaper appears once more, this horrible looking monster, to give Jackson a big old spook. So this time, and after that little experience, Nolan talks about what it was like to, I believe it was Sarah, but I didn't write that down. Anyway, as I mentioned, they go to the woods, and then they go to this party, which they're trying to forget everything, and but Sarah gets leaned up there, all up in there, and then almost puts on the mask. But Nolan takes her away just in time to see some random guy just take it and put it on, and mysteriously get pulled in by the Reaper. He's the only kill the movie has in this entire movie, by the way. I'm just going to state that now. And then a fire starts and everyone, well, not everyone that was a character, leaves. So this new character arrives on the scene after the fact. His name is James, and this guy claims to know all the information about what they need to do to prep this whole situation up to get rid of the demons, and he claims that they must use Jackson as bait. So Sarah tries to support him, get him through all of this, and she briefly is alone after splitting off from him, and then puts on the mask herself. Very briefly gets spooked, takes off the mask, even though, again, at any point, I don't know why people just don't try to even attempt to take off the mask, question mark. The Reaper comes and she screams, so... meanwhile, James is doing his little prayer thing with Pete and the older brother outside. And he's becoming a little bit wary of this James character, this random guy who's came into the scene, but he seems to be knowing what he's doing and has Sarah stay behind. So, by tying them all together, the four that are there, James, Jackson, Pete, and, James, Jackson, I forget the other brother's name now. Anyway, the four of them are tied together, so I guess that's how they get all teleported all of a sudden, even though it only teleported one person out of the mask, who had the mask on. Now they're all teleported into this other area. Jackson gets into the position, and they trick the demon into teleporting out into the circle, and then into Jackson's room, very briefly, and then they lock him in there. Sarah's knocked out. You would think that they would not trust him after all that failure, but they do, and then it works. According to him, he does his little prayer and then the fire and throws it in. So James leaves and gives the switch from the beginning of the movie, which I completely neglected to mention, saying that this is the last little, attempt of a ritual stopping that he was going to do, and that was Archaon, the Halloween summoning. So there's plenty wrong with this movie. The acting is a little bit shifty. I'm assuming this is a low-budget film based off of the lack of locations and things of that nature. On top of that, the rules are very unclear, especially with the mask. How did it teleport 3 other people? How come no one even attempted to take it off? Things like that. How come the monster was able to teleport and not kill more people that way, when it could teleport earlier in the movie, very clearly. These are things you have to be very careful of, and really the movie only really sets up 2 of the 4 characters, well, kind of a little bit, very briefly, but there's not too much to go off of. There was that brief moment I mentioned about Sarah being the doctor, and Jackson's like this, trying to get out of whatever, his parents' place or whatever. So they do very, very brief interactions. I wouldn't say you care about the characters too much at all. And I think that a portion of that comes from both the acting on top of the writing and the rules being very unclear. The sense of danger that they are in seems to be very confusing. And the monster in question, again, only claims 1 victim in the entire movie. You would think that they would try to up the kill count a little bit here, especially during that party scene in the movie. You would think that would be the place to shift everything to being really, really bad, but no, it's not the case. So, not good. I'm gonna give this movie either a 2 or 3 out of 10. There are just a lot of mistakes here being made. Very clear that not a lot of work was put into that, among other things that were flawed in the movie. But hopefully during this little month of horror movies, maybe I'll find one of those really good horror movies. It's happened before. Anyways, if you ended up enjoying this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord server. The second one will head you over to my Patreon page. Any donations are desperately needed. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye!